remember seeing Avatar in IMAX 3D, and I have to say that it was very impressive in 3D.
Oh, most definitely.
Jim Cameron does have an eye for the technology. And that's another ironic thing. He's pushing this new film technology, and he's so pessimistic about technology.
I know. Yeah. He's clearly a very conflicted
He's a complex man.
He has been married 5 times. So. I wonder. I don't know if you guys had this reaction to Avatar, but when I rewatched it, I found them I mean, to a certain degree, I think the CGI is really impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I think back on it, when I've watched it, I've actually felt kind of bored by the major CGI scenes, and I've actually felt surprisingly really engaged by the scenes with real actors actually acting. Like, I think, like Sam Worthington in the flesh is a lot, more interesting than blue anti-gravity jumping Sam Worthington. And I don't know, I mean, I feel nervous about this direction that James Cameron's going in terms of moving away from the tangible and the real. Because, I mean, what made his earlier films so great? I mean, Titanic, he built a real ship. The Terminator, a real stop-motion chrome skeleton robot monster, real trucks exploding. Like, I don't know, I worry that something's going to be lost, but do you guys feel differently?
We're touching on the question I asked earlier. Now that we're talking about Avatar, the more I think about it, I would say it's probably his least engaged film. Where I think he was more interested in presenting the filming technology and the whiz-bang special effects than he was with the actual content and the material.
It's a very basic story.
I'm not very happy about that, honestly.
Yeah, me neither, yeah.
I'm more forgiving of it because, like, really basic stories they're not as big an issue for me, because if you can wrap them up in something nice, then you've got an engaging movie. I mean, if you look at The Avengers, it's a basic story. There's a bad guy out there and the good guys need to stop him. But they wrap it up with the mythology of all these characters, how they play around with each other, how they bounce off each other, and it becomes a really engaging ride. And I think Avatar is a similar way. Not as good, but it's a basic story. I know I'm going to sound like someone from 2010, but it's Dances with Wolves or Fern Gully or these sort of.
I completely agree, and that's why I'm disappointed with it.
And that makes sense. I'm more okay with it because he's making something I've never seen before. He made something that was spectacular and fresh looking and really interesting to see. And it doesn't have a lot of rewatch value. It's not something that I'm gonna pop in on my TV at home and go through it. But I have to respect the ambition. I have to respect that he did something new and different, and that's rare and that's not as common in Hollywood.
I think it's almost as if the whole point of Avatar was to push a different style of filmmaking.
Probably.
And he did that so well that everybody's doing 3D. So in that case, he's 100% successful and good for him. But in terms of his canon, his whole body of work, it doesn't stand up to his previous films, unfortunately. And I've seen Avatar twice, and I tried watching it a third time, and it was just like, what is this? What is this rubbish?
Avatar is another one of those where I can just pop in at any time if it's on TV and just be like, okay, pretty lights, we're back to the blue-gray world, change back.
I think it's probably the overall plot. He could have done so much more with it, which is sad because it's got some really great characters. I really like Sigourney Weaver's character. I really like Sam Worthington's character. The villain was pretty cool. He could have added more depth to it, but like
the performance was great, even if the character wasn't.
The plot in general could have been made more deeper, in my opinion, instead of just turning it into Dances with Wolves in space.
it's kind of odd because, you know, I mean, it's definitely the same message as Dances with Wolves, you know, like the sort of, you know, we should all get along, you know.
Yeah.
And I actually think that's a really worthwhile message, you know. I mean,
Sure.
you know, I'm happy there are mainstream films out there that, you know, try to push that. I have less a problem with it, like, I have more a problem with just the way he did it, you know, making a film about the beauty of nature, this nature that feels kind of airless and sterile, and honestly looks like something out of a video game. I mean, like, to me the trees look kind of plastic, you know, the leaves look plastic. There are some shots that are just breathtakingly real, like when the helicopters are descending and like the wind is, you know, making like all the foliage vibrate. I mean, that's incredible. But some of it's very like unreal, very, very virtual and stable.
Yeah, if you watch it in 3D, a lot of it looked like a video game. But then again, I think filmmaking is just moving that way with high frame rate.
Yeah, that's
80
true.
and blah blah blah. So we're probably gonna films that come out of the studios. We're probably gonna have to get used to it.
And
Hopefully
that's a
there-
whole other discussion for another day.
Yeah, sure. And hopefully there will be a revival in like 35mm, 70mm.
Yeah.
Because I really like that style of filmmaking.
I like that better too. Yeah.
As far as where Avatar's going, now that he's made a statement in terms of filmmaking style and technology, I hope he tones that down and returns to storytelling, just plain storytelling with the new Avatar films.
Yeah.
Then he'll be redeemed in my book.